Senator Thom Goolsby is a Republican from New Hanover County, and you're leading this charge on what I think you've called the war on trafficking, human trafficking.
Yes, sex trafficking.
Why don't we see more busts statewide with trafficking? You say it's a real problem, but it seems to be hidden.
Yeah, well, we're in the top 10 states. We're number 8 as far as sex trafficking goes. And people first off say why. We have 2 large military bases which drive the traffic, plus we've got a lot of tourism. And we are a place where this happens apparently all the time. I will tell you, your first question was, why does this happen, and why don't we hear about it? The reason we don't hear about it, it's just like domestic violence. If you remember a few years ago, when I first started practicing law, I remember domestic violence cases. A woman would get beaten, would come into, the husband or boyfriend would be arrested, come into court, and then all of a sudden, well, he's better now. He's not drinking as much. He hadn't hit me lately. Oh, you don't want to prosecute? Case dismissed. Prosecutors got sick of that. Victims advocates got sick of that, and we changed the law and we started training law enforcement. We had victim advocates put into DA's offices. We had trained detectives to handle those cases, and they started being approached differently. And now we actually handle those cases in a way where we've got domestic offenders that are prosecuted.
Well, that's based on love. That's my boyfriend, my girlfriend,
Right.
my wife, my husband.
But it's also based on attention.
When I hear sex trafficking, I'm
Right.
thinking prostitution. I'm thinking, for lack of a better word, pimps. Is that love? Or,
Well, if you want to see if it happens in your town, let me tell you where to go. Go to one of the seedy motels on the main street in your town, sit across the street in the parking lot on a Friday night, and see how many people show up at that hotel to check in for a couple of hours or for 30 minutes or so. You'll be amazed at what goes on. What we have to do in North Carolina, besides passing these laws and making sex offenders out of the pimps, is also to go out there and train our law enforcement how to interdict this. I've seen case after case after case where the Johns get arrested, the prostitutes get arrested, but the boyfriend in the car who brought her to the hotel, he's just told, hey, go pick your girlfriend up at the police station.
The boyfriend's not a boyfriend.
He's not a boyfriend.
Okay, who, I'm presuming it's mostly women that are being trafficked?
Yes.
Who's primed to be kidnapped or to be lured into this lifestyle and be taken to North Carolina? I'm assuming we're not. Are we talking North Carolinians? We're talking about people from.
We're talking about our own kids. We're talking about our own about women in North Carolina and children. Another startling fact is that within 48 hours, 1 in 4 runaways within just 48 hours is entered into the sex trade.
Those are minors, as I understand.
Those are
runaways.
many times minors, yes, many times. Now you could have a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old who's run away, who then meets up with a guy who's going to, quote, take care of her, feeds her a meal, and then, oh, by the way, this is what you need to do now. And so again, our bill approaches not only people who are trafficking in minors, but also people who are trafficking in adults.
You've called out military bases as being locations, those cities, as being ripe for having human sex trafficking. Why would you link military bases to that kind of criminal behavior?
Well, I've talked to the prosecutors. That's what they've told me.
Are the customers coming off the bases? Are they young GIs? Or why would they go to a military town?
Well, I have seen cases before in the past of prostitutes being literally taken from one military town to another or the surrounding areas. I'm not going after our military bases and our soldiers, sailors, and Marines. I'm a Marine. I lived in Jacksonville. But we do have a lot of young people. We have a lot of traffic. We have a lot of people who are transient, who are coming in and out. And it is literally ripe for these folks coming in and trying to make money off of it.
You also said tourism would people come to North Carolina
No,
as a top
it's not.
10 state for this to do sex tourism?
No,
or?
but once they're here and you have those things being offered and available, I mean, it is a potential problem. We're not number 8 for no reason.
Yep.
Okay.
This bill you have will require anyone convicted of trafficking to register for the sex offender.
To be a registered sex offender.
Right.
Yes.
Are most of the traffickers North Carolinians? Would this have any kind of deterrent effect, or are they people from out of state who come in and rotate like a circus traveling through town?
Well, again, you traffic in a minor, it's a Class C felony. You traffic in an adult, you're a pimp. It's a Class F felony.
Why would you go to jail for a less amount of time for trafficking anyone? It seems it would be whether it's a minor or an adult, there's a victim there, and it's equally as victimizing.
Well, it's victimizing, but we punish people who victimize children more, period, across the board.
That's society, the way voters have said they want to handle these cases.
And a child's ability to make decisions. You know, I mean, we punish statutory rape, even though the child may have wished allegedly to engage in this. No, there's no, you don't do that. And we punish that. Same here. You traffic in a child, you're going to get punished a whole lot more than trafficking in an adult. But either way, we're going to see that you're registered as a sex offender. That means you have to report to the sheriff's department, GPS monitoring potentially, all those kinds of things.
The few lawyers that you pitch this to the committee, and they bring up some good questions about expanding who gets to register for this sex offender registry, maybe non-sexual crimes, and does this go that route? How do you view a crime of being a pimp of someone? If you've grabbed them against their will, you've persuaded them to enter a lifestyle that's completely destructive in this line of work, you consider those pimps to be sexual offenders.
Yes.
And they need to be signed up.
We need to know who they are. The neighborhoods in which they live need to know who they are. They need to be tracked. We need to shut them down from being the main drivers of prostitution.
The odds of you getting this bill passed through the Senate and House, what do you think?
About 100%.
I didn't hear anyone talk bad about the bill.
No,
these bills kind of stop sometimes.
One of the reporters asked me, was anybody here going to speak on behalf of the parties that we're making register? I said, no, I don't see any pimps in the room. So I don't think you're gonna find many people standing up and saying we don't need to do this. We have a lot of people that are already on the list. And if you traffic in children or human beings, if you submit people to involuntary servitude, you enslave people, we're going to see to it that you're a registered sex offender.
Senator Thom Goolsby, New Hanover County, thank you, sir, for being on the show.
Thank you.